have a beer at the northernmost pub in Australia. Absolutely beautiful waterway in the Torres Strait. Up here at Green Hill Fort on Thursday Island, we've done a little bit of a boat or a ferry across from the tip today, or from Sissia, and gone on a little hour-long tour with a fella in a bus, a local fella. I think he's about 3rd or 4th generation here, he said. Just taking us around, and yeah, from up on top of the fort here, you can literally see the entire island. Pretty spectacular view. Behind me over that way is the port that we sailed in on. And then I guess the back half of the island over that way there. But it's a really cool spot up here. And down there I can see the helipad. So over that way is Prince of Wales Island, and over this way is Horn Island. And old mate was saying the reason they chose this island, and this is the most populated of the lot, is because Prince of Wales over there is too hilly, and those two islands actually provide shelter for the bay for this island here. So you end up with a nice deep access and shelter. So it's perfect for transporting goods and people. But you can see down there, that's the main, I guess, section of the island. Main street down there towards the wharf. And later we'll go for lunch at the northernmost pub in Australia. So this is the northernmost pub in Australia, and we are like absolute scabs waiting outside for it to open. It's I think about 11:15 or something. Beer at the most northern pub in Australia. Cheers.
Fucked up.
So we're just here on one of the dirt tracks outside Bamaga Airport, and as you can see behind me there's a plane crash of a Bristol Beaufort Mark 8. I don't know what that is, so I imagine it's an English plane, I'm not sure. Oh no, Australian made, there you go, Australian made twin engine bomber. Don't know the story of how this came down, so if anyone does, I'd love to hear it. There is another one, a DC-3, further back down the road, which we've already had a look at. It's fenced as well, the same as this one, so you can't get too close and have too good a look, but still pretty cool to see. The DC-3 down the road went down in 1945, so World War II. I'm told this one as well is a World War II crash. I don't know what it was doing. The airport's just down the road here, so probably some sort of training exercise or something, who knows. The HEMA maps, if you're using them in this area, HEMA maps are absolutely atrocious. They do not show the marks well at all. But if you just sort of follow the tracks along, you will come across at least this one. This is beach number 2 on the Five Beaches run. They're only tiny little beaches, as you can see. The entry is just over there behind that Hilux, and the exit's just over that way there. There's not much to them. There's always one goose on a friggin' trail bike, isn't there? This is beach number 3 on the Somerset Five Beaches run. You'll see all the rubbish. It's just a sad fact of what gets washed up, unfortunately. It's not dropped here, it's washed up from I guess ships and whatever's in the ocean. It's pretty sad seeing it all here, but yeah, it's just not much that can be done, unfortunately. Just the headland between beaches 2 and 3. Ripping spot. No reason you couldn't camp just up there as well on the grass. I imagine it'd be breezy. It's always breezy out here, but absolutely stunning views. Ussher Point. Hectic drive to get here. Got blown away by the wind last night and had to retreat out into the back dunes, but well worth it because what a pretty spot. And it'd be nice if the weather was playing a bit better with us, and also if the tides had been low this morning, so we could have gone for a bit of a beach run, but unfortunately neither of those things. So hot tip if you do come to Ussher Point is do some research on the weather and the tides. Make sure that they're going to be pretty reasonable and you're going to be able to access the beach and you're not going to get blown away, because it's a long drive in. Took us 3 hours to do the 62k track in yesterday, and it'll probably take us the same to get back out today, obviously. But it's a rough enclosed in. We got covered in ants, spiders. My partner had a ant's nest drop in her lap halfway along. I wasn't allowed to film that, would have got in trouble. But yeah, it's one of the most overgrown tracks I've driven, and just really slow going. So if you're going to put in that much effort, you want it to be nice when you get here. So that's my hot tip. This is our camp on the Pennyfather River, just north of Weipa, on the west coast of Cape York. What a cracking spot. It's our second night here. We've done a little bit of fishing, successfully caught one fish, lost many bits of gear and tackle and that to bigger fish and sharks and rays and all sorts of things.
Just play it, mate, tire it out. Don't fuck it up though. Shark.
Is that it just there?
No. I reckon you got a ray.
Rays can run like that, but they tend to just be like dead weight other times.
Dead, pulling in a fucking rock. Cunty. Have we got colour?
Oh. Wouldn't it be great if you caught the same thing that took my rod?
That'd be amazing.
Doesn't fucking take all my line.
Oh,
yes.
Just wind it right up.
Wind it up a little bit, yeah.
Just have a tiny bit.
Hey,
Oh, gone.
Fucker.
And I actually lost my rod to, I assume, something similar to that. The was in the sand and saw the rod tip go, ran over, and by the time I got to it, it was being dragged into the ocean, or into the river, gone. So very bit of a bummer there, but then probably half an hour later one of the other boys was fishing, and wouldn't you know it, hooks onto something. This feels a bit like a dead weight. Sure enough, it's my rod. So back from the dead, how good. So we've been fishing again this Arvo. But that's our outlook over camp. And now I am just setting up to catch the sunset here over those lovely little rock and oyster formations. Ripping spot, and we've got some nice high clouds. I think we might get a nice sunset, so fingers crossed. Should be only 20 minutes away or so, so hopefully we'll get some nice light on this sand here, and even on these rocks. Some dappled light on these rocks would be nice, and finish off the second of our, we got a pretty decent sunset last night, but hopefully tonight's even better and we can finish off the second night of our stay here on an absolute high. The whole time we were at Pennefather River, we kept seeing these little fins pop up, and initially we thought they were small sharks, but pretty quickly we realised they were manta rays. Look at the manta ray. We've made the journey down from Pennyfather River this afternoon down to, I'm going to read this, Kotini National Park, which is the Iron Range National Park. Two reasons. Number one, wanted to see a palm cockatoo. We just did that. One just flew over. We didn't stop in, so I didn't film or anything, but he flew overhead. So tick. Hopefully we'll see a better one, or get a better view of one, so he stops in and actually lands. And the other reason is the green tree python. This is the only place on the Australian mainland where the green tree python lives. So I'm going to go for a walk with a torch later, after it's properly dark, and see if we can find one of those. But hopefully, being a rainforest and all the nocturnal animals here, we'll see plenty of other things as well as that. So fingers crossed. We're just on our way out of the national park now, at a place called Mount Tozer. We did go for a bit of a wildlife walk last night, trying to spot that green tree python and any other wildlife essentially we could find, and it was a dismal failure. We saw nothing, barely a bug. I don't know, maybe wrong time of year or something, I'm not sure, but we literally saw nothing. Unbelievable how little wildlife there was out and about at night time. So we've got up very early this morning. We left camp before sunrise, hoping that we'd be able to drive along in the dark and see something, or see a bit more wildlife at least, but that hasn't worked out either. We've still seen absolutely zero this morning, so maybe, yeah, just the wrong time of year. We did walk towards a creek and spook something though, so we're thinking maybe we scared a crocodile back into the creek, made a big crash through the bush for about 5 meters and then silence. So most likely crocodile, possibly pig, who knows. But anyway, so yeah, Mount Tozer. Portland Road through Cape York, fairly unique in that it actually passes through mountains. It's actually a really nice drive. It's tar for sections and dirt for sections. Many river crossings, including the Pasco and the Wenlock, which are the two you cross on the Frenchman's Track. But yeah, really a unique drive in terms of Cape York area, because it is so mountainous and actually quite pretty just on dawn, as you can see behind me there. Yeah, something different. Hot tip though, the Lockhart community is alcohol free, so you're not even allowed to have alcohol in your vehicle at all. So if you plan on going in there for fuel, supplies, anything else, you can't have alcohol in your vehicle. You're okay on this road, and obviously in the national park camps which are on this road, and on the Frenchman's Track, but that's it. Everywhere else you're allowed to have alcohol up here. This crossing is the Pasco River on the Portland Road. There's a few creek and river crossings on the length of this road. This one here is probably the biggest, but it is a concrete causeway, so it's nice and firm, plenty of grip underneath. The water level is still quite high because we are still quite early in the season here, but very, very crossable, no problem at all. The Ussher River heading south. On our way up north we had about 300 mil of water across this causeway. What a difference 2 weeks makes. Ussher River causeway completely dry. So we've headed south further towards Laura. We've got to our camp, the start of the old coach road. This is the little Laura River behind me here. Absolutely stunning little campsite. See the boys got the fire over there. Yeah, absolute ripper of a campsite. So tomorrow we're going to get into some hard stuff hopefully and drive the old coach road, but I've just shot around here quickly and done a little bit of a sunset shoot along the river here with all these beautiful paper barks hanging over the river. It's a beautiful little scene. There is a potential for crocs here, so we haven't been swimming, but It's only about half a metre deep, so we're probably okay. Anyway, so yeah, we probably won't go in, but yeah, great little spot. Thoroughly recommend it if you ever decide to drive the old coach road, to stop in here for a night and just chill out before you get stuck into the hard four-wheel driving. So this is the crossing of the Little Laura River just before, at the start of the old coach road. The old coach road is basically a series of little jump ups until you come up on a big ridge line, but this is just an example of one of those little jump ups. A little bit ruddy and eroded in places, but not too bad. This was one of the more eroded little jump ups, and obviously we're heading down. There was a second line next to this one, which was a bit easier, but we thought we'd go the hard line because why not? It's the old coach road, we're only here once.
Yeah, it's a nice line, mate. I don't mind that at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good start. Dropping over. You see here pretty much every vehicle that's come down takes a slightly different line. Everyone knows their own vehicle and is driving a line that they think suits theirs the best. I think everyone did it pretty well. All got down, no damage.
Nice. I wonder why.
Oh, Endo's going the drop line. This is the section of track that the old coach road is probably famous for. Now there is a road around this, but he has said we've got to only probably here once, so you've got to have a go at these things. And what happened here was obviously I went a little bit too high up the wall and the rear wheels didn't follow up that little ledge and got stuck in the hole.
Get a little bit, you just want to get up that bubble.
Yeah, you're back here.
So the rear wheels are now stuck in that hole, and I've got to the point where that rear driver's side wheel the tyre is rubbing hard on the rock. So I'm not that keen to keep pushing it on this line. So I thought we'd try another line, and the result here was that the wheels dropped in to the hole again, and we ended up with twice the wheel lift on the front end.
Okay. Time to win. Just stay there.
Where you going? Hey. Where you going? I'll pull you down so you can go back. Yep. Right, a little bit. Just start going back and
Minch and carry on, waste time here. I thought I'd just reverse out and get out of there. So that's what we did.
Straight back. You're not going to get up there, I don't think.
Little bit of right, you're just rubbing the wall. Yeah, hold that pretty much. Although your left's right in line. Righto, yeah, you've done the same thing, mate. As soon as your rear just drops in that hole, it's just a massive wheel lift, hey? Straighten up there. So Alex thought he'd have a go in the 100. As you said, round the up here once, got to try these things, and unfortunately that left-hand line, we've got a big wheel lift again. Looked a bit nasty, about to smack into that wall there, so bail out of that, try the right-hand line, see if the shorter wheelbase can get the rear wheels to follow up onto that ledge and get through. Here we go. Yep, a little bit of right now. Left, sorry. Left, straighten. I think you're up. Good drive. I think this is just put your passenger wheels in that rut and hope for it, eh? Coming on that log now. Part of this little cut through. There's
if you go
another
back,
little rock step, or
should
not
be able to
little,
get
quite
up
a
on
big
those
rock
rocks
step,
and I'll stop that.
with a bit of a rut next to it to get through.
Go back a little bit.
It took us a couple of
Yeah,
attempts
now
to get
we've got
Elix
the
online
left
here,
hand
and
down.
we had to do a little bit of
Hug
rock
this
packing
left
to
hand
get him
wall,
in
try and get up on
position,
those
but
rocks.
once we were in
Right,
position
right.
it was yeah, quite drivable.
Yep. Hold that, hold that. That's it, that's it. Now a little bit of right hand down. That's it, you're up on the rocks now. You just cross axle there. Give it a little bit of, yeah, left on that. Try and climb up this rock here. No, you're slipping in. Alright, that'll do, that'll do. Come forward and left hand down just a touch. Yeah, climb that. Right, no, whoa. Hey, slow. Go
So you can see
straight
we're
on
trying to
that
get
a
Elix
little
up
bit.
on this left hand little lip here to even out the wheels a little bit, but that right rear wheel's getting caught up on the rock step. So we decided to reverse him back down, pack a couple of rocks to help out that rear jump, climb up the step, and then concentrate on getting him lined up on this left hand side on that little lip.
Right, that's full bar. Right, now left. Oh, slow, straighten, a bit more right, bit of right. That's it, now you're on line. That's your spot.
This section, I looked at it from the top, and with the rooftop tent and knowing the height of the cruiser, I went, there's no way I'm getting through here without leaning straight into this tree, and you can see how close the 100 was here. So there's no way we were getting through without pulling out the chainsaw. So instead you can see the vehicles on the right hand side here going around. There's a bypass track around with a steep little pinch through a gully, but not the side lean into a tree that this one had. So that's the route most of us took. So this is, I think, the Louisa crush at the Enterprise mine and battery. Near to, not far from Maytown now, we're only a couple K out. Along the way to Maytown, there was plenty of old mining equipment, old mines to go and look at. This is actually a current mine with a massive big dam. And we also got the thrill of seeing a little dingo.
A little dingo.
On the left, and then one on the right.
The original old telegraph line with the little cap on top. We're told by our resident electrician that that cap is to waterproof a joint, essentially. And this river crossing is marking the end of our old coach road adventure. We head out to Burketown, or the Burketown Development Road from here. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time. Hit like and subscribe if you want to see more, and if you enjoyed the video, and comment below. Feel free. Thanks. See ya.